What do you think about that? It's a big old jug. This is a spot we've been before. I found a lot of Civil War stuff, bullets, cannonball, all kinds of stuff, buttons, coin, and I'm hoping I haven't dug it out. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab the machine and I'll get you out on the first good signal and we'll go from there. This is our first find. It's not a homemade sinker, and by homemade I mean like hand forged, not poured in the mold. But the fact that this is here is a good sign that there may be some homemade sinkers, and I found a lot made out of bullets too. Unfortunately, it's going to be really cloudy in here because we're in kind of an eddy of the river, so I probably won't get you out too much for underwater video. Nice high one. It's probably a can because it's behind a rock. There's low pressure areas form here when the water's flowing a little more, and light stuff like cans fall into it. The fact that, well, not a can, but it's a piece of aluminum. All right. Well, this is a strange bird. It's a giant piece of lead. Looks like it's been poured. It looks like a big old bullet of some sort, but I suspect it's going to be some type of sinker. I like it. That's pretty cool. So this is kind of weird. Looks like it's part of a comb, but it's metal. I don't know what kind of comb that would be. Like a lice comb, maybe? Might be too wide. I don't know what it is. I think it might be possibly aluminum because it's pretty light. This really sounded like an artillery shell. This is a boat anchor. I think they call them mushroom anchors, so it kind of looks like a mushroom. Sounded just like an artillery shell. I was really happy for a second. It didn't last long though. But this is our first little homemade sinker. It's made out of like a sheet of lead with a hole punched in it. Now this could be Civil War era. It could be after the Civil War. It could be long, much earlier than the Civil War. We just don't know. I'm hoping to find a few bullet sinkers in here. You see it was punched with a square nail, so we know that's probably 1800s at least. Now this is a bizarre little find right here. I don't even know what it is. Looks almost like pewter. It looks kind of like a shoehorn. You know, something you use to help put on your shoes. Don't know if that's what it is. I don't think it's white metal. I think it's pewter. Have to think about that one. What do you think? Seems like half the stuff I find, I don't know what it is, unless it's Civil War related. This is kind of an interesting old pail. I mean, it's just part of it naturally, but got a big handle on it right there. It looks pretty old. I don't know if it's going to be Civil War era, but what I like about it is that it's really well preserved. It was down in this mud right here, and it gave a great signal. Here's another one of what I'd call a homemade sinker. You can see it looks like it's been carved into a sinker. Oh, I have an interesting little find. Found it with my eyes though, not the metal detector. What do you think about that? It's a big old jug. Oh, unfortunately the top is broken off of it. Wow, that's too bad, huh? I thought we had something here. That's all broken up. May not have been when it was lost, who knows? Look, there's a cork top bottle. Oh, it might be a whole one right next to it, so we may have to keep our eyes open for more of these. What do you think? Let's clean it off a little bit. I don't have to break it on the rocks. I'll just clean it off enough so we can see what it is. So this is kind of an interesting bottle, but unfortunately the top is all broken, so I'm not going to save it, but it's got a little slight pink tinge on it. I'm going to go ahead and put it back up here where I found it. Maybe somebody will come along and collect it up. Never know. Now that this is washed out of the bank, they might. Well, this was a nice sounding target, and it was actually down about a foot. Oh, I don't know how old this might be. I have no idea, but I mean, it could be pretty old. Could be, you know, could be Civil War era, I guess. Looks like it's some type of lid off of something, although I don't know why it would have that slash in it like that. Huh, don't know. Nice piece of brass, though. Now, I have a super weird one right here because it doesn't sound very big. All right, but I got my hands on it. I swear it feels like an artillery shell. I've never ever heard one sound like that though, so I'm not getting my hopes up. Down in here, obviously not gonna get any underwater action, but I can feel it right here. It's either an extremely weird rock or a nice big piece of iron. Just feels solid, but you know, it doesn't feel quite big enough around. It's buried in these cobbles, so it's not easy to get out. I've actually been working on it for a while. We're almost there. Feels like maybe a reed or something. Oh no, it's a can. I just broke it. Oh no. That's why it didn't sound so hot, but yeah, that was an old can. Man, dug a lot of these today. That could be old. I don't see any solder on it. Yeah, there's solder seam right there, so this could actually be a Civil War era can, but this is likely not. I was just talking to you about the can I found, and here's a piece of solder. This is where the bottom was soldered, so soldered if you're in the UK. So this is, you know, like I said, this could be Civil War era. They didn't do this too long after the Civil War. I think by the 1880s or so, they weren't doing this anymore. And, you know, of course, Civil War is in the 1860s. So here's a big old piece of, I think this is a cook stove. Boy, it was buried pretty good too. I was hoping it would be an artillery shell, but no such luck. But I think we're in a good area. Yeah, so hopefully we'll come up with at least one bullet soon. I got my fingers crossed. I mean, I found a lot of them here, but they were just up past that next little rock bank there, kind of in that cove. Well, I thought I had an artillery shell. Big old piece of iron. This is an axle off a wagon. You can see the two things sticking out there, and it's hollow. I mean, that's about the size of an artillery shell, but that's just a wagon axle. The fact that that is here, it means it could be another artillery shell in here, because I did find a cannonball in here. I think it was last year. Well, this is unexpected find. Isn't that weird? I guess the fisherman must have lost it. Definitely not Civil War. I put her in a bag with the rest of the junk. So this is cute. This was just up from the watch, but I'm thinking that's going to be pretty old brass. Some type of jewelry, or I don't think it's going to be suspender clip, but something like that. But yeah, that's a nice little find right there. Get off there, you. Yeah, okay. No, actually it is kind of neat, I guess. So what's a day on the river without a horseshoe? Here we go. Maybe she found a horseshoe. It's gonna bring us some luck. All right, I'm gonna call it a day. So let's go ahead and take a look at our finds. It's a little peaked, but I had fun. This is what we ended up with. No bullets, which was kind of disappointing, but we did find this big old chunk of lead, which I think is pretty cool. I don't see like if there was a hook on it for weight or something. Maybe there was. And of course this little thing is probably, I hate to say it, one of the coolest things. Got the little it's like a comb of some sort. Again, the watch got a, you didn't see some of this stuff. That's a wheel weight. No wheel weight. These are I believe these are weights to decoys, duck decoys. Not 100%, but I'm pretty sure. Bunch of sinkers and lures, and don't know what that is. I think that cut in there might be made that way, but I'm not 100%. And a big spike you haven't seen. So that's about it, man, on this, whatever that is. All right, I'm gonna jump in the boat. We're gonna work our way up to the boat ramp. I just came through there, only hit a little bit, so it's still not too bad, but it's getting low. Low and slow. Except I can't go slow. I gotta go semi-fast to keep it on plane. We'll see you on the next adventure, I hope.
Mother Earth, you are my lady, my big round baby. I'll rock you until I go to sleep. She don't care if you're dying or if you're living or somewhere in